The Red Devils reached their first World Cup quarter-final since 1986 with a thrilling 2-1 win over the Americans. All those 3 goals coming in extra time. The quarter-final lineup is complete. A world record last night as USA keeper Tim Howard pulls off 16 saves against Belgium. We take a look at the top keepers of the World Cup. And the race for the Golden Boot is well and truly on. James Rodriguez of Colombia is the surprise leader. He leads Messi, Neymar and Müller. Good evening. 56 matches, 155 goals, and from 32 teams who started this World Cup, we are down to the final 8. You can see behind me, our video wall has those final 8 teams. Also joining me as always, Karim Bensharifa and Novi Kapadia. They've been with us all through this World Cup. Tonight they hope for a good night's sleep. Let's start the show though by taking a look at the final 2 teams to complete that quarter-final lineup. A thrilling game at Salvador, Belgium versus the Americans. After a goalless 90 minutes, the Belgians turned it on in extra time. Kevin De Bruyne gave the Red Devils the lead after being played in by Romelu Lukaku 2 minutes after the restart. Lukaku, the super sub, then made it 2 towards the end of the first period. The Americans seemed dead and buried, but Jurgen Klinsmann's men pulled one back right after the break. 19-year-old Julian Green scoring to set up an exhilarating finish. The chances came thick and fast towards the end, but the US just couldn't apply the final touch to draw level and went out. Argentina are also through, but not before a massive fright against the plucky Swiss. It was a cagey beginning to the game as both teams sized each other up. The Argentines yet again looked off colour, and Ottmar Hitzfeld's tactics helped Switzerland in stifling their much fancied opponents. Nothing could separate the 2 teams to 90 minutes, and it appeared to be going the same way in extra time till Leo Messi dribbled through the Swiss backline to set up Angel Di Maria, and with barely 2 minutes left, Maria kept his composure to slot home and take the Albiceleste through to the last 8. Okay, so quarter-final lineup of this World Cup is coming up on your screens. These are the final 8 teams. One of these teams will be the world champion. The first quarter-final, France, the 1998 champions, versus Germany, the 3-time champions. Then, the same night, Brazil, the hosts, looking for their 6th world title against Colombia, who've never won a World Cup. Argentina, who are looking for their first title since '86, up against the dark horses Belgium. And the Netherlands, who remember have never won a World Cup, up against Costa Rica, in a sense, the surprise quarter-finalists. Novi Kapadia, 8 teams, we're down to 8 teams. 4 of these teams have won a World Cup, but all 8 of these teams won their groups. Interesting.
Yes, very fascinating. Another very fascinating thing is that whatever happens, I mean, there are sort of 2-3 certainties in the world. Everybody must die, the night follows the day, and the World Cup remains in Europe or South America. And that's what it's going to be. Whatever we keep saying, the gaps are narrowing and all, but ultimately there are 4 European teams, there are 3 from South America. To be exact, Costa Rica is from the from the Central and North American group, the CONCACAF region. But it's my hunch is it will go back to one of the 4 winners, outside chance Netherlands.
Okay, Karim, but the 8 matches we've had in the second round, almost all of them cliffhangers. 5, in fact, I think, went to extra time. 2 were won in the last 10 minutes of normal time. And except Colombia, who had a bit of a stroll against Uruguay, they were all very tight games.
Yeah, very tight games. But again, we didn't have any surprise that show that though, for example, Algeria pushed Germany to the limit. Germany, with their experience, they come very strong on that first extra time, first half of extra time at the early stage when Algeria was vulnerable and lacked that experience to start with the same concentration. Belgium against USA. So we had surprises at the group stage.
Yes.
Where we had seen that many results, and we had seen Italy out, England out, but Spain out, yes. Especially Spain. But then after that, at this stage, the favorites, the main names are already here.
Okay, very quickly, Novi Kapadia, also at this stage of the tournament, you get a sense of who is the favorite. But look at these 8 teams, anyone can win it.
Yes, it is very close, and that round of 16 was really remarkable. That you had 3 games going into added time, 2 in the penalty shootout. There was really no close game. Both Netherlands, they won it at the death. I mean, they scored their goals in added time.
Came from behind.
Yes, and even France got that second sort of confirmation goal. So that way it was very close. One expects the quarterfinals also to be very close.
Right.
That fact is there. We don't get those big score lines anymore, except when Iker Casillas has an off day. So
We will speak about him. We will speak about him. No show reviewing the World Cup can be complete without Iker Casillas. But what we'll do is, we've tried to break it down statistically, and we'll have our first statistic. This is the team which have scored the most goals. The first team, Netherlands, 4 games, 12 goals scored, 4 conceded. The next team coming up after this is Colombia. Now, who expected, with Falcao sunning himself in Miami, 4 matches, they have scored 11 goals, conceded only 2. The next one on our screens is France. 4 matches, 10 goals, conceded only 2. Hugo Lloris having a great tournament. Germany, 3-time champions, 4 goals, 4 games, 9 goals, 4 of them in their first game against Portugal, conceded only 3. And the final one, hosts Brazil, have played 4, scored 8, conceded 3, but all of us are perhaps agreed upon the fact that they haven't exactly been in full strength. The teams that thrilled us, in a sense, know we are through. And this statistic shows that, score the goals, you will go through.
Yes, the attacking teams are through, and all those who have played very open, exciting football. So there are lots of contenders for the Golden Boot, and that makes it very exciting. I mean, from Arjen Robben, Karim Benzema to, James Rodriguez. But again, that's also going to go down to the team which must reach the semi-final.
But
Because
also,
you have to play
just to
7
take this
matches.
forward in a sense, last time we were in South Africa, both of us, Spain won the World Cup by scoring 1 goal. It's not been this way. This time, other teams are going out, attacking in more numbers. Teams like Argentina have not scored so many goals, but they've had 36 attempts, many of them off target. So teams are generally going in with the mindset that this is the way to win this World Cup.
Yeah, and paradoxically also we've had some great goalkeeping. Tim Howard's world record, and several goalkeepers have shown. But what I'm saying is that except Oleg Salenko in the 1994 World Cup, this is the only case of a person where his team was eliminated early but became top scorer because he got one match, and that sadly with Cameroon, who are in a lot of sort of in the hot soup at present also.
Yes.
So 5 goals against that. Otherwise, it's always been whether Ronaldo, Thomas Muller, Lucas Podolski, Miroslav Klose. It's been a team which has at least reached the semi-final, that you get to play 7 matches.
The second stat there was Colombia, coach. And Colombia are a team I mentioned in the beginning. Radamel Falcao was not there. Everyone was wondering, can Colombia even get out of the group? And here they are, the second highest goal scored in the World Cup.
They are the only team who are using the 4-4-2 formation, playing with 2 strikers, genuine 2 strikers. And I think that helped them going forward. Guardado is the player with most assists. And also James Rodriguez, he scored 5 goals and 2 assists.
Yes.
So these are positive statistics, and it showed that Colombia is looking quite positive and quite an exciting attacking team.
Okay, we've spoken about the teams with the most number of goals. Let's now look at the teams which have the best defensive statistics so far in the World Cup. Algeria, 4 matches, 69 clearances, percentage of clearances 85%, tackles won 51. The next team, Switzerland, who went out last night, 4 matches, 60 clearances, 74% clearance rate. Nigeria next, fantastic performance against France before going out. 4 matches, 66 clearances, 90% clearance rate, still they go out. Chile, who had that great game against Brazil before going out on penalties, again a clearance rate of 83%. And our final team is the Americans, Jurgen Klinsmann's team. 4 matches, 53 clearances, clearance percentage of 77%. Ironic, isn't it, Karim, that here we're talking about the teams with the best defense and all these teams are out.
So that means, that proved that the best way to defend is to attack.
Yes.
These are teams, not all of them, because I think USA tried to attack maybe, but most of them had, as we say, parked the bus, had defended very deep, Of course, when you defend with numbers, you cannot attack with numbers. You cannot be both, you know. And the proof is the teams who are the best attacks are definitely maybe not the best defense.
In fact, yesterday you spoke about how to stop Messi, crowd Messi out, put 3 or 4 players on him, and ironically, even though they did that very well for 119 minutes, that last minute, the fact that everyone went after Messi, that left Di Maria through to go on goal.
If I try to stop Messi, because you cannot stop Messi. And it proved yesterday that they did it very well. The plan worked for them. They was almost going. And then, but again, it's also, of course, big credit to Messi. He is carrying one team on his shoulder alone. But still, again, I will come back to that lack of experience of these big teams at these big occasions. Algeria, USA, and take Switzerland also, because at that time, the Swiss players thought that it's over. It's never over till the final whistle, we know that. And that's why there was that very amateurish mistake by the right back, Lichtsteiner, who did that costly mistake just on his own half, which Messi took full advantage of it and created that chance for Di Maria.
And perhaps that's the reason why these are the best players in the world, because they capitalize on that one mistake. Now let's look at what else we've actually got coming up for you. We picked this one up as well. This is the top keepers in the World Cup. The talking point was Tim Howard pulling off 16 saves, a world record. He played 4 games and 28 saves in this World Cup. And USA unfortunately going out, but they had a couple of very interesting games. Guillermo Ochoa, in a sense, has won everyone's heart with that performance against Brazil, and then even then the other game against Holland. 10 saves for him, but in a sense those 10 saves were very important if you compare it to the numbers of Tim Howard. The next keeper we're going to look at is Keylor Navas from Costa Rica, who in fact we all agree are the team of this tournament. He played 390 games, 14 saves for him, kept them afloat in all the group games and also in that second round match against Greece. Okay, now let's look at 3 players who actually came into this World Cup with good reputations. Manuel Neuer, 13 saves. Germany have not conceded too many goals. Next up, we have the French captain Hugo Lloris, 8 saves. Remember, France have conceded only 2 goals. And also the next player coming up on our screens is the Belgian Thibaut Courtois from Atletico Madrid and Chelsea in a sense. Again, 12 saves and conceded just 2 goals. Novi Kapadia, we started this World Cup ironically talking about Iker Casillas. That's why I mentioned him when you said at the beginning of the show. But his fellow brethren have, in a sense, they've salvaged their reputation, the goalkeepers.
Yes, I mean, Iker Casillas, I think what really affected was that he didn't play regularly for Real Madrid. You know, he was rusty. But what is interesting, to give credit to Tim Howard and this whole generation of American goalkeepers. You know, the professional sport has developed in USA, but not to a certain extent. Brad Friedel, Tim Howard, they go and play in England. You know, they are willing to sort of, you know, risk their careers. They have sort of kept themselves mentally, physically fit. So full credit to these goalkeepers.
Before him there was Brad Friedel.
Brad Friedel.
Who's still there, in fact.
He's still there. Brad Gruzen is there. So full credit to them as individuals. You know, how they've tried to further their career. Not sat back contented. They've played World Cups. They're not resting on their laurels. So full credit to their professionalism, that even at this age, where it's very convenient to, you know, look back with nostalgia, they are continuing to fight. And Tim Howard was really exemplary.
Right.
I mean, Barack Obama, I'm sure, was very happy watching it.
Yes, he was watching that game, and there were all these Americans. In fact, Klinsmann even had that online petition. You can go and take a break from your job if you want to watch the match against Germany. But Kareem, also, you know, World Cup goalkeepers, we've always talked about Campos, colorful character. You've talked about Higuita, the Colombian. But what you've seen with Navas and with Ochoa, in fact, not very well-known goalkeepers. In fact, Ochoa doesn't have a team, but he'll probably be the bargain deal of the century with the way he's performed in this World Cup.
Yeah, it happened. You know, there was that's the beauty of the World Cup. Not only the players that we expect, whether goalkeepers or strikers, will shine, but every World Cup give us some new stars, new names that we're going to talk about. And but it remains to be seen that those new players, those fresh stars, whether they will continue with the successful season next season at the club level as well. Just regarding the goalkeeper, what I want to mention here is the importance for me. Of course, all of them are great goalkeepers, no doubt about that. I will give slight advantage to Neuer because of his footwork. You know, you have a goalkeeper and you have almost a defender.
He was like a sweeper. His heat map was like that
against
of a sweeper.
Algeria, touching the ball 17 times outside the box. That gives you an idea. And his distribution is wonderful. He's as good with his hand as with his foot. Good passing, whether long or short. And that's why I feel he's more complete goalkeeper than the rest.
Right. Okay, gentlemen, we'll continue this conversation because we've got one more interesting fact coming up to talk about the race for the Golden Boot. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll tell you how James Rodriguez is the man who leads the odds for that Golden Boot. Welcome back. We are discussing the World Cup in numbers after 56 games. What we have on our screens right now is the top scorers, the race for the Golden Boot. James Rodriguez from Colombia, who would have expected him to lead the charge? He's got 5 goals. Importantly, he's got 2 assists as well. Second is Thomas Müller, who won it last time. He has 4 goals, but he's also got 2 assists. Leo Messi has carried Argentina till the quarterfinals. He's got 4 goals. Let's move on to the second part of the charts. Neymar from Brazil, 4 goals, didn't score in the last game. Karim Benzema started off very well, could have had 2 hat-tricks to begin in his first 2 games. He's stuck on 3. Arjen Robben from Netherlands has got 3 as well, and there have been some truly magnificent goals. Novi Kapadia, James Rodriguez, the story of this World Cup, not just in the race to be the player of the tournament, but also could win the Golden Boot.
Yes, Lionel Messi could also do that, but James Rodriguez is really refreshing because he's an attacking midfielder. You know, he's the number 10. He's not a striker, and that will also really have to go back to the record books to see if that has ever happened, because it's normally been out-and-out strikers. Davor Suker, Miroslav Klose, etc. Ronaldo. But the important thing to bring out is that after 94, they've started counting these assists. FIFA has sort of, used this added technology. Because if you remember in 2010, where Müller, Sneijder and Diego Forlan all finished with 5 goals, Müller got the award because of assists. So that's also going to count now a lot.
Yes.
And that is where Messi or Müller could steal a match.
It's interesting because for a long time we've seemed to be stuck on 6 goals for the Golden Boot. Probably this time it will change. But coach, are you surprised? Because for Neymar and Messi to do it in a sense, considering the burden on their shoulders, the burden of expectations, to continuously deliver is a tribute to how they've handled themselves as well.
Of course, they have to handle big pressure from their both big footballing countries, rivals in South America, and they are performing and carrying their team. But what struck you in this list is where is the strikers? Where is the
original number 10?
Yeah, exactly, because all these players, they play behind the strikers or in the attacking midfield position. All of them, including Benzema, who plays sometimes when Giroud plays as a striker, he plays on the left. So either they are playing on wide position or behind the strikers.
Blame Spain for that false line.
Where is Van Persie? Where is Eto'o? Where is those out-and-out strikers? They are not on this list. Plus, the important thing here also is Benzema should have been
number
on
1.
the top,
Yes.
because he have 25 shots on goal, and he could convert only 3. So in my opinion, he should not be even there, because you have 25 shots and you score only 3. Is not a very good rate of conversion.
He could have had 6 in the first 2.
He was denied by the referee 1 goal, so he should be on 4 at least.
Okay,
and goal line technology, which normally would have given him a goal.
Yes, but interesting, he still has a chance. All these players, in fact, have a chance to go and add to that tally. Let's now look at what you have been writing into us on Twitter. Remember, this is where your tweets we read out on the show. Our first tweet coming up is from Pooja, and she writes, the World Cup has lived up to its billing. Football has been scintillating with only 5 goalless draws from the opening 48 games. Yes, it's ensured that we stay up at night as well. Our next tweet comes from Yes, Ankur. And Ankur writes, Messi in this World Cup, 4 games, 4 goals, 4 wins, 4 Man of the Match awards. Ankur is also won 4 Ballon d'Ors, so he knows how to raise his game. Aditya writes, genuinely feel Colombia will have a very good chance of winning the World Cup if they can defeat Brazil in the quarters. Can they? If they do, Aditya, you don't seem to be getting a Brazil visa anytime soon. Mohit Raj writes, this World Cup will also be remembered for Luis Suarez. Suarez, we can tell you, his agents are currently trying to negotiate a move to Barcelona. Our tweet of the day, and this one will be coming up on our screens, is from Juan Diablo. He writes, 1998, the record, 171 goals. In 2014, 154 goals. There are 8 matches to go. Will the record be broken this year? Interesting observation that this is how you can join in on the conversation as well. All you need to do is tweet us using the hashtag World Cup. You can also tweet Karim Ben Sharifa and Novi Kapadia, who clearly are enjoying their time on Twitter. Time for us to go. Thank you, gentlemen. Karim and Novi will be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. in the evening for an in-depth look at all those 4 quarterfinals. Remember, we mentioned them at the beginning of the show. That's at 7 p.m. on Thursday. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.